This model. Today we are going to discuss about the most popular internet service that is called electronic mail. The designer of the internet probably never imagined the popularity of this application program. Its architecture consists of several components. So at the beginning of internet era, the messages sent by electronic mail were short and consisted of text only. They let people exchange quick memos. Today, electronic mail is much more complex. It allows a message to include text, audio, and video. It also allows one message to be sent to one or more recipients. Now, let's discuss about the general architecture of an email system, including the three main components. Now let's see the general architecture. So this is the architecture of an email system, which includes user agent, message transfer agent, and message access agent. To explain the architecture of email, now let us discuss about four scenarios. First, let us begin with the simplest situation and add complexity as we proceed. And the fourth scenario is the most common in exchange of email. So let's see the first scenario. In the first scenario, the sender and the receiver of the email are users on the same system, for example, our application programs. They are directly connected to a shared system. The administrator has created one mailbox for each user where the received message are stored. A mailbox is part of a local hard drive, a special file with the permission restrictions. Only the owner of the mailbox has access to it. Say, for example, when Alice, a user, needs to send a message to Bob, another user. Alice runs a user agent program to prepare the message and store it in Bob's mailbox. The message has the sender and recipient mailbox addresses, that is, names of files. Bob can retrieve and read the content of his mailbox at his convenience using a user agent. So this diagram shows this concept, and this is similar to the traditional memo exchange between employees in an office. There is a mail room where each employee has a mailbox with his name or her name in it. And when Alice needs to send a memo to Bob, she writes the memo and inserts it into Bob's mailbox. When Bob checks his mailbox, he finds Alice's memo and reads it. So, when the sender and the receiver of an email system are on the same system, we need only two user agents, right? In the second scenario, the sender and the receiver of the email users are users on two different systems. The message need to be sent over the internet. Here we need user agent and message transfer agent, right? Alice needs to use a user agent program to send her message to the system at her own site. And the system, sometimes called the mail server, at her site uses a queue to store the messages waiting to be sent. That is, you can see here. And Bob also needs user agent program to retrieve messages stored in the mailbox of the system at his site. The message, however, needs to be sent through internet from Alice's site to Bob's site. Here, two message transfer agents are needed, one client and one server. Like most client and server programs on the internet, the server needs to run all the time because it doesn't know when a client will ask for a connection. The client, on the other hand, can be alerted by the system when there is a message in the queue to be sent. When the sender and the receiver of an email are on different systems, we need two UAs and a pair of MTAs. In the third scenario, as in the second scenario, Bob is directly connected to his system. Alice, however, is separated from her system. Either Alice is connected to the system via point-to-point WAN, such as dial-up modem, DSL, or cable modem, or she is connected to a LAN in an organization that uses one mail server for handling emails. That is, all users need to send their messages to this mail server. So, Alice still needs a user agent to prepare her message. She then needs to send the message through LAN or WAN. This can be done through a pair of message transfer agents that you can see here. That is MTA, message transfer agent. That is for both client and server. Whenever Alice has a message to send, she calls the user agent, which in turn calls the MTA client. The MTA client establishes a connection with the MTA server on the system, which is running all the time. The system at Alice's side queues all messages received. It then uses MTA client to send the messages to the system at Bob's side. The system receives the message and stores it in the Bob's mailbox. So at his convenience, Bob uses his user agent to retrieve the message and reads it. We can notice that we need two pairs of MTA client-server programs. So when the sender is connected to the mail server via a LAN or a WAN, we need two UAs and two pair of MTAs. So in the fourth and the most common scenario, Bob is also connected to his mail server by a WAN or LAN. After this message has arrived at Bob's mail server, Bob's need to retrieve it. Here we need another set of client server agents, which we call message access agent, that is MAA. That you can see here, MAA agent, that is message access agent here, right? So the client sends the request to MAA server, which is running all the time, and requests the transfer of messages. Now the situation is shown here. That is, there are two important points here. First is, Bob cannot bypass the mail server and use the MTA server directly. So to use MTA server directly, Bob would need to run the MTA server all the time because he doesn't know when a message will arrive. This implies that Bob must keep his computer on all the time if he is connected to the system through a LAN. If he is connected through a WAN, he must keep the connection up all the time. Neither of these situations is feasible today. Second, you can notice that the Bob needs another pair of client-server programs, message access programs. This is so because an MTA client-server program is a push program and the client pushes the message to the server. Bob needs a pull program. The client needs to pull the message from the server. So there is two difference between push and pull. The first component of electronic mail system is a user agent. It provides the service to the user to make the process of sending and receiving a message easier. A user agent is a software package that composes, reads, replies to, and forward messages. It also handles mailboxes also. That I can see here the user agent. So the user agent helps the user to compose the email message to be sent out, and most user agents provide a template on the screen to be filled on by the user. Some even have a built-in editor that can do spell checking, grammar checking, and other tasks expected from a sophisticated word processor. A user, of course, could alternatively use his or favorite text editor or word processor to create the message and import it or cut and paste it into the user agent template. And the second duty of the user agent is to read the incoming messages. When a user invokes a user agent, it first checks the mail in the incoming mailbox. Most user agents show a one-line summary of each received mail. So each email contains number field, flag field that shows the status of the email, such as new, already read but not replied to, read and reply to, and then size of the message, sender name, and optional subject field also. Okay. And now after reading a message, a user can use a user agent to reply to a message. A user agent usually allows the user to reply to the original sender or to reply all recipients of the message. The reply message may contain the original message for quick reference and the new message. Replying is defined as the sending a message to the sender or recipients of the copy. Forwarding is defined as the sending messages to a third party. A user agent allows the receiver to forward the message with or without extra commands to a third party. So that is the difference between replying and forwarding. Replying means you are sending back to the sender, but forwarding is sending a message to third party. And a user agent normally creates two mailboxes, an inbox and outbox. Each box is a file with a special format that can be handled by the user agent. So the inbox keeps all the received files of emails until they are deleted by the user. The outbox keeps all the sent emails until the user deletes them. Most user agents today are capable of creating customized mailboxes. Thank you.